Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Crystal White. Thanks for joining me. I'm so excited to be here and for especially this topic of discussion today about self-love. How important is it to love ourselves and what we can really do to invite that sincerity into our hearts, allow them to be open and expand that love from ourselves even out to others. So, what I want to mention is, we tend to always think so highly of other people. And even other people that we love, we think so highly of them. And it's really easy to even give strangers the benefit of the doubt. Okay. But when it comes to loving ourselves, many of us just fall short of this. And, in order to love ourselves, we need to accept all of our imperfections and all of the things that we feel, that don't live up to our own standards. So we're learning to battle through all of the all-consuming fire of self-doubt and self-pity, even in order to find that energetic balance inside of us. And so what I want to bring your attention to is the that small insidious voice inside of your head, the negative self-assessments that you cast onto yourself. Pay attention to these voices. Perhaps this is a voice that you recognize and you notice that it's from childhood. Maybe it's someone in your mind that you're constantly, giving that negative self-assessment to yourself, but it has the voice of, an aunt or an uncle or a mother or a father or a teacher, right? The teacher that always said you were doing so bad and always reported to your parents saying this student was so awful and they never did anything right and whatever it might be. Maybe it was a bully in school and you have kept that negative self-assessment. You've taken it on as your own. In reality, it may have been from, it may have been them, right? And we're keeping that with us. And these self-judgments really have absolutely no place within yourself. Not within a healthy relationship that is vital to have with yourself. Okay, there's no room for it. And so when you can find, the love for yourself and sincerely love yourself and recognize that these voices and these negative self-assessments aren't actually yours, you can give it back or cut the cord with it or ground it out and say, hey, I recognize now that this negative self-assessment is not my own. And, when you can truly and sincerely love yourself unconditionally, that is when you can offer that unconditional and sincere love to others. We can only love others as well as we can love ourselves. Now I want to go over this card that I have, which is the number 41, which speaks of self-love. Okay? And I really want you to think back to these negative self-assessments that you had, maybe even as a child, maybe an ex-lover or a friend that put a label on you and that you fully accepted for yourself. And see if you can find it in your heart to love yourself. And even though these other people may have put this label on you, and you start to recognize that, yes, I did accept that for myself, love yourself anyway and say, hey, I don't need to accept this anymore. Next time you hear that thought come in your head, put their voice to the thought and say, that really wasn't very nice. They can only love me as much as they love themselves. And so it was their lack of self-love that they projected on you. So I hope that you open your heart up to this message and you recognize the truth and you allow yourself to truly feel your self-love emerging, and you feel the separation of their energy from your energy, and you let go of them fully and completely. You let go of their label, their self-assessment, whatever it is that they projected onto you. Accept your imperfections. Only you know yourself to the greatest capacity that you know yourself. You're the one that knows all your faults and flaws and imperfections. Accept yourself for who you are and make a commitment to yourself and be determined to love yourself without conditions, to love all parts of yourself. When we interact with other people, there's an automatic exchange of energy. Quantum science has taught us this concept. The quantum field, we literally have an exchange of energy with every interaction that we have with other people. What we do with that energy exchange is completely up to us. We can hold on to it, let it become stagnant and stuck inside of our bodies, inside of our energetic systems, or we can accept them fully. Feel that emotion or that energy pass through us and let it go. We can reflect that energy back to them so that they can raise their personal self-awareness. I'm a big fan of that option. Reflecting it back to them will help them ultimately. But just know you don't need to stick around and try to help someone else on their ascension if they are not willing or receptive to your help. There comes a point where things that aren't serving us any longer, we just need to let it go, and we can do that in the service of love for ourselves. So after the rain falls and the sun comes out, there's growth. Our hearts can open and soar. New beginnings emerge, and we become more in tune with our emotional body and recognize the power of our emotions and manifestations in this world. When we fully accept ourselves and we love ourselves. Love is the most powerful emotion that there is, right next to fear. Love is so powerful, and just as powerful as fear is powerful. But don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to, block that flow of energy, whatever it might be, coming from others, emerging from within. Let it happen. Let it unfold. It's going to create some beautiful things in your life. The only thing that we have to fear is fear itself. Because when we accept that fear in our life, that is where the weeds grow rampant. And so you got to be aware of that. Check your self-doubt and find that balance. Find the ability to love yourself as much as you could love another person. Love yourself like you would love a small child. Cuddle yourself and know that you don't need validation or assurance from anyone other than yourself. May this message stick with you through today, and may you find it in your heart to love yourself more than anyone else and spread that love outwardly into the world. Much love to you all here. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.